All those things are starting to fatigue Paul. So Joshua keeps stalking, keeps stalking. I always say, you can intimidate someone with your posture. You can make yourself bigger than you actually are. And that's what Joshua did.
What's up, you guys? Teddy Striker here, and after Justin Gaethje's impressive win against Paddy Pimblett, I kept thinking about what he said, and he said that champions move forward, and I've thought about some of the champions in the UFC in the past and currently, and he is right. Like, there is a lot of champions that most of the time go forward. There is very few champions that can fight really well and win fights off their back foot. Guys like Israel Adesanya, guys like Alex Volkanovski, Islam Makhachev. But when you see the majority of the champions, I feel like most of them do in fact move forward. And in this video, I want to talk about 5 reasons why I think it is very important for fighters and champions to move forward. And the first reason why I think fighters and champions move forward is because they own the real estate. The whole octagon is like controlled by you, essentially, because you have all this space around you to move around, while your opponent really only has to move like to the sides, or he has to go into you and actually like throw something to get you off of them. And if they try to back up, they'll be trapped against the fence, and they will have even less space to move around the cage. And one of the best benefits of having the real estate of the octagon is that you're able to move away from your opponent freely, and you won't be worried about having to bump into this barrier behind you. You can move around the cage whenever you feel the threat from your opponent, and it's just more space to breathe, and it makes defending shots and also defending takedowns a lot easier. So overall, owning the real estate is very beneficial to fighters and is a great motivator for them to move forward. But another reason why I think champions move forward is because they can control the pace a lot easier when they are the ones moving forward. And what I mean by this is, whenever you're the one that's going forward, you can kind of control what happens, because you can either attack your opponent or kind of force them, like get in their face so much that they feel like they need to throw something. Because as Daniel Cormier said, like, you can make yourself bigger, you can give yourself a presence in there, an aggressive posture, and that can kind of frustrate the opponent and make them think, oh man, I gotta do something. Like in this clip, I know this isn't MMA, this is the Batman 2022 movie, but Batman is simply walking forward, and this goon right here feels threatened by him, so he feels like he needs to attack because he doesn't know what Batman's gonna do. But Batman is simply just walking forward at him, getting in his face, and the dude just feels uncomfortable, so he just starts swinging, and he ends up getting battered. And this is how I believe that champions can control the pace of the fight, by forcing their opponent to either do something they don't want to do, or let you do whatever you're going to do to them because of the pressure and you just marching forward. But another reason why I believe that champions move forward is being on the back foot is simply uncomfortable, whether it's defending or attacking. And we were talking about being uncomfortable a little bit earlier, but now we're going to elaborate on it. And we see many examples of fighters whenever they feel the power or the pressure from their opponent, and you can see it doesn't really make them feel good. Like, it's not natural to be getting beat up, you know? So obviously you want to move away from that. And some fighters, maybe they're not as skilled as some others. Like, obviously there's plenty of fighters who are comfortable on the back foot and can actually fire back successfully, stay calm under pressure, make sure they see the shots coming, and fire back responsibly. But there are some fighters who struggle with that, and that is completely normal. And champions are able to take advantage of that by getting in your face and really putting that pressure to really make you as uncomfortable as you can, so that way you can't hurt them and they can hurt you. But another reason why I think champions move forward is that moving backwards takes a lot of energy. You're constantly backpedaling and retreating from your opponent. That is very tiring, especially when you consider that
it's tiring to fight off the back foot as well, especially, I mean, when you think about the hours of training for Israel Adesanya, how many hours do you think he spent going backwards consistently for 4 rounds?
Most fighters don't train to be training backwards. They train to come at their opponent and to take their heads off. And so in a fight, when you're doing something that you're not used to and you haven't been trained to do, that can fatigue you, especially when it's all you're doing. And I do feel like, yeah, like Adesanya might have been getting slightly a bit tired because of that pressure that Strickland was putting on him, simply because he had to just constantly move backwards. But the last reason why I think fighters and champions move forward is because I feel like it's easier to land power shots on the front foot than it is going backwards.
That's how you get caught. Keep backing up the whole time. No, if you keep backing up, of course you're going to get caught. Go forward, pressure.
Once again, Daniel Cormier is right. When you go forward, you have a lot more options. You're the one that's advancing. The opponent is retreating, and they have less ways to defend themselves, which means it's going to be easier to hit them. Because one of the main ways fighters defend themselves is by moving backwards, getting out of range. But once the fence is there, they're blocked and they're kind of stuck there. They can either move side to side or try to maybe block with their hands, you use their head movement. But it makes it a lot harder when you don't have that space. And when you come forward, your opponent has less options, meaning you have an easier time to track them down and hit them. And we saw that with Islam Makhachev when he was able to back Volk up and eventually hit him with that clean head kick. Another reason why knockouts come a little bit easier when you're pressuring your opponents and you're the one moving forward is because the window for mistakes is so low for your opponent. Like one mistake and it's over for them. They really need to be dialed in and really careful. Otherwise, they could be very well going to sleep. And ultimately, that is why I believe champions move forward. To quickly recap, I believe champions move forward because they own the real estate. They control the space around the cage. They also control the pace. They dictate whenever you throw and when you start exchanges. Another reason is it's simply uncomfortable to be on the back foot. Also, it is more tiring to be moving backwards constantly. And lastly, moving forward increases your chances of potentially getting knockouts because you're limiting the space of your opponent and they don't have that space to move away from you. They have to find another way to defend themselves. But that's my interpretation on why champions move forward. A very powerful quote from Justin Gaethje, and he followed it really well. But with that being said, make sure you guys like and subscribe. God bless, and I will see you in the next one.